not going to say he's right. Definitely not going to say he's wrong. I am going to say that Sidney Crosby believes in this. He really does. Good morning to you. Good Wednesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates in the same place that you found this. I know. Kraken 4, Penguins 2. I know. Again. The same pattern at the beginning, the middle, at the end. Nothing changes. No matter what it is that happens along the way, no matter how much the Penguins might own the rink, no matter how much they might get owned, the results end up being bad early goal, come around a little bit in the middle, make things happen, get to the third period, it's close, and it gets lost. It gets blown in some form, or overtime, or even the shootout. And no, I'm not here to go over Tristan Jarry again, even though 3 goals on 14 shots isn't going to make anybody's ultimate YouTube highlight or whatever. I'm saying that something is still missing. And this game, in a way, I feel like did a better job of making the point that I wanted to make yesterday on this show, whenever I was saying that there's still something missing, there's still another level, there's still some place that they have to push through. And maybe that's a little too nebulous for some, and maybe it's a lot better when I say, all right, well, dump Noel Acciari and Matt Nieto and bring up a couple of guys from Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and then you start naming names, and it gets a little bit more exciting because you can picture it. But they're the ones that are supposed to have these answers, or at least potential answers. And they're supposed to be, I'm going to keep coming back to this word, a rotation, a competition, to make sure that you're getting the most out of the guys who are already here. And instead, it feels like there's a constant attempt, and this is partly on Mike Sullivan, but also partly on Kyle Dubas, to try to just find the right 18 skaters and stick by them and make it happen as if we're in the middle of a playoff series or something. A case in point, you're winning this game, and you're winning it in a strange kind of way by a mile. Not on the scoreboard, obviously, but my goodness, did the Penguins just dominate this game. I don't know that there's another opponent they've dominated like this all year long. The Kraken went 5-6 minutes at a time without even touching the puck. I mean, you felt sorry for them. And yeah, there's some stuff offensively the Penguins could have done better. They missed the net way too often. They passed up shots entirely way too often. And they didn't really bear down on some of the shots that they did register. But you still got to win that game. You got to win that game 99 times out of 100. And they didn't. And one of the reasons that they didn't is that when they get to a certain spot where they need to defend. Well, first I want you to hear, this is the question that I asked of Mike Sullivan after the game to open his press conference, as well as his answer.
I gotta tell you, there's a lot of commonality to some of these outcomes, third period losses like this. What has to change? It's getting to the point where you start wondering if there's something significant that needs to change, including players.
What needs to change is a commitment to play defense. That's what I think. And we weren't willing to play defense. We didn't spend a lot of time in our end tonight, but the time that we did, we weren't committed to play the right way. They scored 2 goals in the third period on non-event scenarios. It wasn't like we were under siege. It wasn't like they were coming at us in waves. It was none of the above. It was 2 plays or 2 scenarios that in my mind were non-events, but we didn't pay attention to detail. We didn't stop. We didn't protect the good ice. We didn't get stops in the corners, win puck battles, block shots. It boils down to details. We weren't willing to do it tonight.
See, I get that. I feel that. He's right. He's completely right. Those weren't even threatening situations. But as soon as things happened in the Pittsburgh zone that might have been threatening, the Penguins, the people on the ice, and that was Sidney Crosby's line. It was also another shift where it was Evgeny Malkin's line, different defensemen each time. They didn't really completely buckle down. It was more like, well, when we do get the puck, we're going to turn back into the Globetrotters again because these guys can't do anything about it. But they didn't have the puck. And they softened up. And they gave one up. And then they gave another one up 50 seconds later because that's how that goes. So you can take this game last night and you can take the one against the Lightning over the weekend. Obviously, the Lightning being a much, much better team than the Kraken. And say, there are actually some good things happening in general for this team as far as their style of play, is the way they want to get things done, the approach, the attitude. I brought that up with Sid last night.
At least a positive from between Tampa and this game. I know the results were nowhere near what you wanted, but the way you guys actually performed.
Yeah, it's, I think if anything, hopefully we realize if we play the right way, we'll get rewarded. That, when we play our game, we get opportunities, we generate a lot, like we did the last couple especially. So knowing that's important, but at the same time, we gotta close out games. So, like I said, however we need to do it, whatever it looks like, we just need to find ways to get 2 points.
There, you hear him say it. He says, play the game the right way. That's play the game the right way according to my head coach. He's in. This has not changed. This has not wavered. He is the captain of this team and believes that this team can get it together. And when you spend, 58 out of 60 minutes doing pretty much whatever it is that you want except sticking it in the back of the net, you're going to feel that way too. But hey, here it comes. 2 weeks, 7 games all over the continent, every time zone, I think, or almost all of them. We're going to know definitively before long. When we come back, J1Q. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online, your number one source for all your summer sports needs this season, from Major League Baseball, golf, NHL, NBA playoffs. Get the latest odds and lines, including all team matchups, player props, odds on just about everything that's out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Today's J1Q comes from Peter, who says, DK, I understand why Mike Sullivan was mad about the defending, as there was really poor defending for 50 seconds in this game. However, Seattle was just as bad for 2+ periods, and their goalie limited the damage, and the Penguins goalie couldn't do it for 50 seconds. Do you get any indication that Sullivan or Kyle Dubas recognizes this basic issue for the team? Yes, I do. And I couldn't agree more emphatically with your assessment of what Joey Daccord did for the Kraken. In fact, our old friend Dan Bilesma on the other side said afterward that Joey was excellent, and we felt like we all got picked up whenever Joey would make a big save, noting in particular the clean Ricard Raquel breakaway in the first period. That Daccord stayed with Raquel all the way through, and Raquel's really good on those, by the way. There were lots of other scrambles. There were situations where Daccord had to swallow the puck up just to make sure that those scrambles came to an end. He did that. He even had a beautiful, not one of those accidental, but a beautiful assist on Seattle's first goal, springing the shorthanded 2-on-1 that led to Chandler Stevenson's goal. I have a feeling that once the Penguins do get around to changing goaltenders, if and when the goaltending that they get is, even just NHL average, a lot of people around here are going to be reminded of what that's like. And not just in an isolated way. as, for example, Alex Nedeljkovic was outstanding last week against Edmonton. You're going to have a goaltender steal you a game. We're more than halfway through the current schedule, and I don't know that the Penguins have had a single such occasion. Not exaggerating here. If you think I'm wrong, name it. One game where the goaltender stepped up and did something like what Decord did last night for the Kraken. Contrary to what some will counter whenever I bring this stuff up, I'm not looking for singular scapegoats here. I'm not looking for a positional scapegoat here. I'm saying that the goaltender has to be part of the solution, not that the goaltender is to blame. Hate that term anyway. You're blaming the goaltender? Well, why can you blame the goaltender, but you won't focus on, I don't know, Marcus Pettersson did that, Erik Karlsson did this. It all contributes. But the goaltender is the only one that has a really, really, really simple job description. It is their job. And Ned made this point last week eloquently himself. When we break down, it's my job to be there and to make that save. If I don't, then I didn't do my job. That's actually it. That's it. So last night when another old friend, Jamie Oleksiak, dips through Yevgeny Malkin and Michael Bunting, way too casually, I might add, and he moves in between the hash marks, it's just Oleksiak versus Jari. And Oleksiak flings the shot to the short side, effortlessly, like it was an empty net. That's not blaming Jari for anything. It's pointing out the obvious, that the save wasn't made. While at the other end, when a 20-plus goal scorer in Raquel came flying down the rink at you, their guy made the save. That can't go missing, and it has from this team, and it has to change. It's not about blaming or scapegoating or faulting or finger pointing or whatever. It's a fact. It's a fact of hockey. It's been one since these guys were getting around on dog sleds. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Penguins. We're going to do another one of these tomorrow.